Good afternoon, NPL Women's New South Wales fans. Eric Subihano here, high on the scaffold at Lakelands Oval in Dapto for this round 18 clash between Illawarra Stingrays and Sydney University, two teams who broke winless runs last time out with much-needed victories for the Stingrays, a 3-0 win over the Ravens on this very patch of grass here on the South Coast, while for Sydney Uni, they're trying to start a little bit of a winning run after, on their home grass, beating the Rangers 5-2 last time out. So this is the first of 6 games in NPL Women's New South Wales round 18 to be played today. We'll talk about the rest a little bit later on. There was a game in this round last night at North Tarramara Recreation Area with the traditional Saturday night commentator for North Tarramara, Annabelle Banfield, calling a 0-0 draw between Northern Tigers and the league leaders, Sydney University. So let's go through the lineups while the usual pre-match formalities are being completed. And we'll start with the visitors, Sydney Uni, in their famous blue and gold quartered jerseys. Goalkeeper is number 1, Scarlett Gray. Number 6, Juliet Harris. Number 8, the captain, Madison Van Dyke. Number 9, Poppy Tay. Number 10, Jenny Hill. Number 11, Amelia Murray, joining Sydney Uni for the remainder of the NPL New South Wales season. Number 12, Sarah Farrow. Number 20, Ellen Hughes. Number 28, Isabella Rad. Number 30, Grace Cho Treganza, and number 39 is Asha Sutton. On the bench for the students, number 19 is Noor Hijazi, and number 23, Letitia Zek, number 27, Juliet Chu, number 33, Claudia Pickett, number 35, Georgia Lim, number 36, Emily Pine, and number 41, the backup keeper, I believe, would be Evie Fisher. Sydney Uni are coached by Xavier Taylor. Now, for Stingrays in their famous pink jerseys, their lineup in goal is number 1, Kiara Roche, number 5, Hayley Taylor-Young, number 6, Jasmine Lamont, number 7, Chloe Middleton, their skipper, number 8, Ella Giles, number 11, Bronte True, number 13, Kayla Austin, number 17, Adelaide Thompson, number 19, Annalise Grove, number 77, Alex McKenzie, and number 78 is Sophia Christopherson. On the bench for the home side, number 16 is Genevieve Nisbet. Number 21 is the backup keeper, Caitlin Russell. Number 22, Brielle Masters. Number 26, Madison Keisha. Number 28, Emily Kelly. Number 30 is Lucy Badger. And number 36 is April Rowley. And the Stingrays are coached by Ewan Boff. So I appear to have timed that just about perfectly. And we're all set for Sydney Uni. There is a big gap between them and the top 4 teams. Of course, it is, as it has been since 2022, a 14 final series. Oh, sorry, my apologies, since 2020, a 14 final series in this competition. And as Casey Fleming blows the whistle, today's referee, away we go. Sydney Uni trying to go on some kind of run that would give them a chance of going back to the finals for the first time since they won the premiership in 2022. And as I say, it was a bit uncertain on the long drive down here from northwest Sydney. We've had variable weather, both in the broader greater Sydney area on the south coast and at this specific venue. But at least for now, the weather god's smiling upon us with bright sunshine and, more importantly, no rain. As early touch for Taylor Young, but Tay winning it high from the front. Murray going wide to Hill, and then it's a good tackle from Annalise Grove. Followed by an equally good tackle from Amelia Macris. I know I referred to as Amelia Murray on the intro. I'll have to clarify that a bit later on as Kiara Roche catches the cross. So just to clarify that, Amelia Murray from South Australia was known as Murray when she burst onto the scene in the A-League with Adelaide United, as that's a ball which Scarlett Gray should catch easily. And then it was actually a recent name change that she now wished to be known as Amelia Macris. We saw that, I think, saw her known as that name both for youth national teams and possibly for Melbourne City, I think, and back then, and as well as Adelaide United. So apologies, Amelia, but we'll go by, I mean, there's a certain kind of official status to dribble, but I always say the name the name on the actual back of the jersey is the one you should use. So, yes. Middleton with the turn. And Macris possibly trying to do some defending as Taylor Young is very quick and does keep it in. A decent low cross. Christopherson doesn't get there. Side-footed effort. It's saved. Was it saved? Yes. So Casey Fleming points to the first corner of the game. That's an excellent save from the young shot stopper, Scarlett Gray. And the home team have an early corner kick. And by the way, before I forget, and I hope that this hasn't changed from what was initially... Actually, we'll hold that thought as corner comes in. It's up, and not really one in the air off a header by anyone, but it does break to Gray, and she can settle things down. And the list of officials I was given, so it would indicate that the assistant closest to us here is Sarah Ratcliffe, and that the assistant on the far side is Reese Edwards. Got to say, I mean, my memory is absolutely terrible. That does not look like Reese Edwards on the far post, on the far side. I could be wrong, but maybe there's been a late change. As there you go, Macris with a solid side-footed clearance. Tay, good at holding the ball up. We've seen that, and she's had a breakout season. Poppy Tay up front for Sydney Uni as he chases this one, putting the pressure on Giles, who will give a slightly awkward back pass, but Kiara Roche, good technically, brings it down. And I mean, I'll say, when I say Kiara Roche is good technically, well, I don't think there are many keepers in this competition or in any competition, that have scored a first-grade goal as well. Kiara Roche has scored at least 3 first-grade goals, and that was her time at Blacktown City. Forward by Taylor Young. Austin stayed on side. Little prod through, and Bronte True. Speed says that she is not quick enough to catch up to that one. Good tempo to this early on. 0-0 between the Stingrays and Sydney Uni. Eric Subihano with the commentary from Dapto. And, but as I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, this is the earliest. It's the earliest of 6 games to be played today in NPL Women's New South Wales Round 18. The rest, of course, you can watch the same way you're watching this one on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel. So the multi-screening fam amongst you might be set to be very busy before too long, because the next game kicks off at the always quirky kickoff time at 3:10 p.m. at the Arctic Circle, with the Ravens hosting the Wanderers. And then 4:50 p.m. from Lambert Park, home of Sydney's best barista, and they do a great hot chocolate there as well. There's RPL Leichhardt hosting Spirit FC. At 5 p.m. from Poppenenda Park, it's the Rangers hosting Manly United. I like to call that the Culture Clash Derby, for reasons I won't explain now. Anyway, and my good friend Emily Arnold calling from Poppenenda Park there. At 5:30 p.m. from Football New South Wales headquarters, Valentine Sports Park, it's Hills United hosting MacArthur Rams. And the late test of the kickoffs today in NPL Women's is 5:40 p.m. at the Crest, Olympic hosting Bulls FC Academy. Bulls in second place and feeling good after they inflicted UNSW's first defeat of 2026 upon them, and closing the gap in between them and leaders UNSW in the league to only 2 points as of the start of today. Little tumble from Tay, but it's okay. She got the ball to Van Dijk, and Van Dijk with a nice turn. Rod. Now back. Here's Macris. And Macris, good touch from Tay. Now, it might open up on the left, but she couldn't pick out one of those teammates to her left. And by the way, probably should do a special shout-out for the 5:40 p.m. game at the Crest, because it is match of the round. And all the bells and whistles accompanying match of the round status. Will Constantinidis on the commentary. We got my good friend, the Camden camera expert, Angela Deporbay on photography, and Tanisha Morar operating our socials, and all of those legends will be working for the 5:40 p.m. game, Sydney Olympic versus Bulls FC Academy. It's also the second-tier match of the round in League One Women's, 5 p.m. up on the Central Coast, with the Central Coast Mariners Academy hosting Nepean FC. And if it's a home game on the Central Coast, as Sutton, first time to run at a defender before she plays one in. Macris, Goes backwards. It's cleared by Austin. But yes, if it is a Mariners home game, you know who's calling this. Of course, the voice of Central Coast football, Pete Pryor, will be on the mic from Plume Park, although I did actually promise Pete a couple of days ago, you know what? He's there so often, and he's such a legend of Central Coast football, I'm going to start calling that venue in Lisarow Pryor Park. It wouldn't be the first time I've just decided to give a venue a nickname in commentary. 0-0 between Stingrays and Sydney Uni. 8th minute here by my stopwatch. Neither keeper really tested as of yet, but there's a long way to go. Of course, as Macris whips a flat one in, it's allowed to bounce, and it might break for Tay. Tight angle, rides the challenge, tries to find someone in the middle. One-handed save, header from Sutton, and then gratefully, Roche falls on the ball. And Poppy Tay, absolutely on fire. The last time these two teams played, it was the Catholic Easter weekend. Round 5, I was actually on the mic that evening at Camperdown at the Sydney Uni Football Ground. Poppy Tay with a hat-trick as the students beat the Stingrays by 6-2. You could say Sydney Uni taught them a footballing lesson that day. Now that might work out for Sutton inadvertently from a Stingrays standpoint, but Sutton has taken over for Uni. Hill finding herself centrally. It's not much width on Uni's right-hand side. In fact, they have given it up. So a bouncing ball controlled, I think, by Alex McKenzie. There's a fair bit of pink in front of McKenzie, giving True something to chase, but the covering there from Sarah Farrer. Sarah Farrer stepping in. We have seen Talia Sandbrook in Sydney Uni Central Defence alongside Juliet Harris for much of the season, but this time it is the number 12, Sarah Farrer. I was kind of mentioning one of my footballing loves before it actually happened. Not going to be a long throw, just a throw in a decent attacking position. Can True turn and find a teammate? Should run it more centrally to Lamont under pressure from Rad. And Uni taking the chance to step up as Middleton dinks one forward, and then the safe play there from Van Dyke. Boomed forward again by Farrow. In fact, what's the decision? I just had to take some pause. It was near, but not inside the penalty area. Attacking free kick for the Stingrays. In fact, I've only ever done a level 4 refereeing course, but what I was told when I did that course all those years ago, if it's a penalty, you got to make it really obvious straight away so people know what's going on. Casey Fleming's body language did not suggest penalty, and there it is, instead a free kick right on the edge of the box. Scarlet Grey positions the 2-player wall, and everyone for Sydney Uni back to defend the set piece except Poppy Tay. Floated in, headed away by Farrow, another defensive intervention. Shot is up, and it's over. And I just got to say, I don't know. I did this the last time I was here, when I called Stingrays versus Hills at the back end of May. Don't know why I've done it again. I parked. Well, obviously, I won't tell you which one my car is, but I parked in somewhere in the vicinity of behind the goal, and I just would ask. I hope the players keep their shots down today, is what I'm saying. Off Stingrays, and now it's really bright, and I'm glad, given the weather, glad I actually remembered my sunglasses today, because we're getting a bit of everything here in terms of weather and the early stages, while this game still waits for its first goal. Defended by Van Dyke, I believe it was, but Stingrays making it difficult for Uni to play out as Austin battles away. Sutton, the pass to the far side. Forward, Tay won't have the momentum to get to the number 9. Now touch by True round the defender, but on the cover, I think, was Harris. And Taylor Young, actually, up from the back, positioned herself at the back stick, waiting for the ball to come her way. It does not this time. Sutton loves running at defenders. Pass one, pass two. Asher Sutton, stopped by Mackenzie, but... Oh, no, thought there was going to be a free kick. There was not, don't mind me. As it's shifted left to Annalise Grove. I might, just to save a syllable, call her Annie Grove at some point, just to avoid some confusion. And perhaps to clarify things maybe for newer fans to this competition. And also, always good to see newer fans embracing this wonderful league, of course. This is Annalise Grove, number 19 for Stingrays, as opposed to Anna Lee Grove, the goalkeeper for Northern Tigers. Taylor trying to cushion it. Christopherson kept it in before it slammed into the fence. And as Middleton is going to take over throw-in duties. Flings one. It's off a uni head. Does it break for Christopherson? Not quite. Lamond decides for possession play back to Grove. So, to further that point, Annalise Grove and Annalee Grove, not related, but Annalise Grove over here is related to Sasha Grove of Canberra United fame. Now there's a run, and cross in, it's safe hands from Gray. Well, I believe Annalise's younger sister Kira is playing in the under-18s game, which was played just before this one, as it's forward by Gray. Decent enough first touch from Murad, but Middleton might have stolen in. Has a few plays in front of her. Long-range shot blocked by Farrow. Touch, and then the shot from Thompson, and hits the fence. And as I go on one of my many tangents, looking at the shape of this perimeter fence here, it has some sharp stuff on the top of it, and it's unlikely that those sharp things will puncture the football, although I have seen it happen with a similar shaped fence at Popmondetta Park quite a few years ago. Let's hope that doesn't happen today, because these match balls are really, really expensive. Grace signalling, I think, not wanting to play it out, opting instead to go along. Here we go. Over that little crowd gathered on the far side, and out for a throw-in out on the far side. Throw-in aimed at Lemon. As True tries to shield it, she's forced backwards, but she has kept the ball. True again. Thompson works it back. Lamont. I think that's Mackenzie. Turns away from Tay. All the way. They'll have to go back to Giles. Roche sends one. Is Grove. Giles. Stopped by Harris. Harris again. There's now Sid Uni trying to get it moving. Van Dijk keeps it away from Christopherson's pressure. Here's Farrow. And Farrow aims the diagonal. Macris is quick, and I think she will get to this one. So wonder why that's unfortunate. We've all been there. As quick enough, Macris to get to the ball, but then just kind of inadvertent touch over the sideline. That could be an interesting battle over the remainder of this game. Amelia Macris against Annie Grove. Go 17th minute mark here at Lakelands Oval. 0-0 between Stingrays and Sydney University. Eric Subihano with the commentary. And enjoying another commentary road trip. Not my longest commentary road trip. 3 years ago I went all the way to South Nowra Football Complex for a game in League One Women's between Southeast Phoenix and Hills United, which Hills ended up winning by 7-1, but a decent trip today nonetheless. As sliding challenge from Macris there, and then did she get the touch off Taylor Young? Yes. Sydney Uni throw. Rod rides the challenge. Past Middleton as well. Now finds a teammate. That's good play, but Van Dyke lunging. Now Harris plays it forward. Booted by McKenzie. And Rod wins the 50-50 with Middleton. Will it open up for the students? One for Tay to chase. Tay. That's a foul. And it's a yellow card as well. First slice of cheese for today's game. The how can I put it? The queso has been shown. The formaggio, the yellow card has been shown to Annalise Grove. Shout out to legendary Wellington Phoenix and Northern Tigers fan Dean. He appears to be tuning in because he's made a reference to my education-related puns. Either that or he isn't listening, but he knows I'm calling this game and he's just guessed that I'd be doing such a thing. And in that, of course, he would have guessed correctly. And swinger coming in from Sutton. She'll go direct. And Asher Sutton wasn't too far away, but did look like Roche had it covered. Asher Sutton has scored 9 goals this season. I believe scored a double last time out against the Rangers, having an excellent campaign. Gonna assume also, based on things that I've seen, that Asher Sutton is one of my favourite types of player, a Mel Keith prodigy. And it's basically impossible to have a game in this competition without at least one player that Mel Keith, legendary futsal coach, has worked with. So Lamont dropping deeper, I think, to encourage Grove to go forward, but that's on the Stingrays' left and the ball is on their right, as Giles will take a touch under little pressure. Now one to chase, but Harris has gotten there first. We're one back by Thompson, and just about... Oh, no, she did not. She did not keep it in play, but it was a good effort nonetheless. And Thompson with the header. Good. Nice safe pair of hands from that spectator on the far side. Van Dyke did well to keep it in play, and then wants the throw-in. You can keep advancing it down the far side. Rod trying to speed things up a bit. Austin's back to defend for the Stingrays. It's taken over by Hughes. Hughes crosses. Away by Giles. Got to say, it is bright. It is. It's bright here at Lakelands Oval. For now, those dark clouds in the distance have me worried. I suppose that's a problem for future Eric. And, of course, the players and the coaches, who are more important than I am. Uni standing off, letting the defenders, and indeed Roche, just have the ball in what they deem to be not really a dangerous position. It's wide, I think that's Thompson, and McKenzie had gotten forward from the back, has snuck in here and found some space. Here's McKenzie, floats one, Taylor Young won't reach it. It's sliced away by Macris. And by my very unofficial tally, that's corner number 2 for the hosts. There's the signal. Swinging towards the edge of the box. Here's Middleton, shot in the turn. Kind of taking the sting out of it. That's a decent follow-up effort, and Gray might have seen it late. And she did see it, which is the most important thing. A save, and then falling on the loose ball as well. Austin forward to True. Beaten to the punch by Harris. Middleton on throw-in duty. That hasn't worked out for the hosts. Goalless between Stingrays and Sydney Uni. Here at Lakelands Oval, into the 25th minute. Chotraganza now under the pressure. It's been given away. Requiring Hill to clear out of the box. Use of the body from Van Dijk. And that's Sutton. Found a pocket of space. Now, Uni players outnumbered. Tay wants a through ball. Thinks there was an option. Sutton playing it a little bit safer. Finds Chotraganza. Good sliding challenge from Lamont. Here's Hill. And Hill turns away. They'll start again, but we gotta keep an eye on Chotraganza. And yep, the goes. Suspected head injury, and we are stopping the play here. So Grace Chotraganza can be looked after. So it's good to see Chotraganza back on her feet. And the decision, I think the universal signal for substitution has been made. So that's an unfortunate one. The youngster has a couple of first-grade goals this season. Has to be replaced. And Sydney Uni currently in their warm-up. And I think the message has gotten across. One of them is going to have to go on. So I do believe we will soon, by listening in, we will soon see, I think number 19 is Noor Hijazi, on to replace Grace Chotraganza. And she's at least a little bit of assistance, but largely able to walk off the field under her own steam. So we hope nothing's too serious there for Grace. While we wait to see now, well, I think Uni might have to be short-handed. Short-footed? Anyway, That might have to be down to 10 because I don't think Hijazi isn't ready to come on just yet. So we'll go on. Van Dijk gets on the half-turn. Now Tay again trying to break the line. It deflects and Uni still have it. That's a nice ball to find Rod. And Rod looks up, aim right, and Annie Grove intercepts, keeping it away from Macris. But Macris then committing the free kick. And so That's lots of instructions coming from the uni bench. Still trying to get that sub ready as quick as they can as it's off Farrow's head and it will get through to Gray in a crucial time in the game. And the light levels continue to change here. I've got to do something with these sunglasses. They're not helping me anymore. Grove steps in ahead of Tay. Tay again wanting the ball in behind. Rad backwards again, and Farrow not getting the contact she wanted. Hand up in apology, but she might need to get a head up as well. And then that's good work from Macris, as is keenly fought right in front of our filming position. And Rad has it disrupted by Christopherson. And that will be a Stingrays free kick. Now, okay, so it wasn't injury, it's visible blood. That's why Chotragan's had to leave the field. In fact, it is not going to be a sub. My apologies. It looks like Grace Chotraganza back up and running, but may need a jersey with that blood. At least I'm listening in to what's being said. So Uni is still down to 10 players, and they'll have to defend this set piece without an 11th one, as Lemon lifts one in, and might break for Taylor Young. Here's Taylor Young with a header, which Gray saves. So this will be the quickest. This will need a, how can I put this, a change akin to a Formula One tyre change from Grace Chotraganza so she can get back on the field with a new jersey, sent forward by Mackenzie. Nice. By the way, that reminds me, Formula One tonight at Silverstone of all. Okay, so they've decided that we just have to get a jersey on. So now, for the remainder of this game, Grace Chotraganza in number 33 instead of number 30. So just bear that in mind if you have the dribble app in front of you while you're watching this one. But it's good to see that knock did not keep her out of action. Inudi saw out the storm, so to speak, with that period down to 10 players. I hope this venue sees out the storm that I feel like is about to come before the end of the game. It's header from Hill, and an awkward fall, and that'll be a free kick to Sydney Uni. Now, the real keen-eyed among you might notice, yes, Grace Chotraganza is wearing Claudia Pickett's jersey, number 33. You got to do what you got to do. As Lamont steers it away and back to Giles. 0-0 between Stingrays and Sydney Uni. What's the stopwatch say? Just past the half-hour mark here at Lakelands Oval. Taylor Young back to Annie Grove. Grove's up, and now Christopherson with Hill in close attendance. And then the second defender is Macris, and the second defender wins the ball. Macris wants to run it out, but then's given it straight back to LeBon. She'll dink one in, and Farrell leapt, but probably just as well that she didn't touch it, because that was only ever heading to Scarlet Grey. Direct looking for Tay, tracked by Grove. Tay keeps it in, but good tackle from Grove. Middleton keeps it away from Sutton. Here's Mackenzie. And back to Annie Grove. Now Taylor Young. Quite a, how can I put this, a capital football flavour to this Illawarra Stingray side. Sophia Christopherson, Hayley Taylor-Young, Alex Mackenzie, Annalise Grove. Have I missed anyone? Is that slammed? Oof. Good. See? Okay, that's good. I think the deflection that smacked into the Stingrays dugout, I'm glad that did not hit anyone from point-blank range. It's Macris. Now, Sutton. There's a bouncer now to go the other way. Christopherson, chased by Farrer, and Farrer got the touch, but it's not over yet. Christopherson will keep this in play. How's the support? And that's for both teams. And she looks up. Cut back, and there's Van Dyke in the way. Does such a good job, Maddie Van Dyke, shielding the defence. That's right, nice skill. Macris, and then Middleton's intercepted. And it was a vital interception by Middleton. Otherwise, Van Dyke was off to join the attack. And there was room. And good to see the floodlights have come on. Yep, we'll definitely need them. Of course, a little bit of a different schedule here at Stingrays home games to some NPL teams because they play their first grade before their under-23s. That, to be honest, I think that should be the norm. As Taylor Young might have gotten goal side here. Hayley Taylor Young, and then, well, looking for True. I could say there might have been an opportunity to go herself. Taylor Young opting to be the team player, and that allowed Macris to get back in time with a touch, which then sent the ball towards Gray. Now, intercepted by Thompson. Thompson, sent away by Farrow. More than just sent away. Good pass to Sutton. And now Sutton doing some work on Middleton here. On the far side, still Sutton. Pass 2. And I think I saw a jersey tag. Yep, my eyes are not good. Even I saw that jersey tag. I think that's Sutton with the set piece. Swung in, decent amount of pace on it. Off Stingrays and presenting an easy ball for Kiara Roche. Diag and Taylor Young jumps, does enough to kill the ball. And now back to Annie Grove. Oh, that's right. I mean, that reminds me of Capital Football connections with Stingrays in the broader sense, as Farrow sends it away. Chloe Milton of this region, but she has played for Canberra United as well, so that's a slightly more indirect Capital Football connection on the field today. Good ball in, and it escapes everyone at the back post. That is a goal kick. While I'm thinking of Capital Football legends, big congratulations to former Sydney Uni player Emma Ilioski. Next professional move will be in Denmark. She signed with Odense Ball Club, or however it is you pronounce that. My Danish pronunciation is not the best. But, it feels like yesterday Emma Ilioski was lighting up the league in the blue and gold, but a good career at Canberra United and also at Aberdeen in the Scottish Women's Premier League, and Emma has opted to make Denmark the next stop in her very impressive and still young footballing career. Grove back to Giles. And better get on and finish this coffee because the drizzle has started again. I haven't got much to report from this week's episode of Canteen Watch with Eric Subihano, but admiring the simplicity of the Robert Timms coffee bags that they have for sale. Nice and straightforward. It's the unfortunate nature of cardboard cups. They give you a black coffee just after you made it, and it is about the same temperature as lava. So, as there's the touch from True, tight angle, the shot, good save, follow-up. Still might be a chance for Christopherson. And Van Dyke showing the necessary urgency with the ball just lying there in the Sydney Uni penalty area. The students have survived, and Tay will keep that in, I think, before Middleton deals with that. So good save by Gray. And the initial shot, and Uni captain leading by example, Matty Van Dyke, to make sure there was not a follow-up effort. Now, to finish my point about the coffee, yeah, it's nice, but it's just, yeah, it's about 7 million degrees when you get it. So it's only about now that it's reached a drinkable temperature. And I got this well before the game started. But yeah, we're grateful to all the hardworking and largely underappreciated canteen staff at all our NPL grounds. Now, going through, and Gray should gather this. In fact, Gray knows, good judge of the ball, didn't need to bother. Just lets it run out for a goal kick. Uni get it towards midfield. And of course, we are moving towards half-time as well, with the game still waiting for its first goal. I suppose it's... Oh god, that's not a nice wind. At least the slight saving grace is standing in this scaffold. It's at our backs, because, and I have had this in commentary, when there's precipitation, the last thing you need is a headwind, so that in other words, water going into your face as you're trying to call the game. As us stay the ball with the Stingrays. Now Austin, Middleton. Now open up on the left with Grove, pressured by Rard. Now that's Van Dyke, and once again stepping in. And then Hughes. Now Sutton. As Stingray squeeze the space well out on the far side of the field. But then there's Chotragansa stepping in. Tay is 1-on-3. But the support is coming. That's good defending from McKenzie. Got use of the body, wins the free kick. Almost the perfect outcome for a defender in a one-on-one situation. For 10, Tay will not reach that. And that looks like that's going to trundle out for a goal kick. With halftime approaching, I like to plug this once per half. Keep an eye out for the NPL Women's New South Wales Team of the Week. Be released on our social media channels. At NPL NSW_official on Instagram. There's also the NPL New South Wales Facebook page. Team of the Week comprised from 3 to 1 votes from the media. We got one person at each game. It shouldn't be too hard, given that description, to figure out who does the voting. Chotragansa, and brought down by the second defender, who was Lemon. Let's hope Let's hope Chotraganza doesn't feel too sour after that Le Mans foul. Now Farrow booms one, and it's got to make sure. Loving this filming position. It is very close to the near touchline. Just got to make sure a stray ball doesn't hit us, our equipment. Had myself and today's camera operator Keeley. A great view of the action, although I was reminded by that most recent clearance. I have nearly been hit by a ball twice this season. It's the first two games that I called this season as well, so that was some good safety reminder. As that now, Tay will pounce on that. Rad is in support, so is Sutton, one either side. What does Tay do? Plays in Rad, with Middleton giving chase. Two plays in the middle. Rad doesn't seem too keen on whipping it in immediately. Now Van Dyke. In swinger, away by Grove. Van Dyke must be again. Now, Tay, can she turn? It's Poppy Tay. No foul. Tay might go the other way, and Christopherson now will run at Farrow. Choose the further forward option. That's a great run. She's tracked by Harris. True. And Macris defending. Christopherson hasn't given up on it. Still with Christopherson. And little curler, and oh well, if Thompson got a touch on that, it would have been the opener. Thompson was millimeters away from getting a header there. Again, Scarlet Grey just waving the players further forward for what you might call a more traditional goal kick. This is Sutton. It's a nice ball and Rod. First time ball, but Giles will intervene. Sutton, good body strength. And the second tackle is clean. McKenzie, I think it was McKenzie. It will be a throw-in. How far away are we from stoppage time? Well, we're in stoppage time. There we go. Well, good thing I checked. On my stopwatch, we've had about 30 seconds of it. And instructions from one of the benches. Hurry up, there's not much time left. Oh, I paraphrased there, but you know what I mean. Here's Middleton. Shoots. Gray saves. Harris has it intercepted by Thompson, and that will be that. So plenty of intensity with a lot on the line here in Lakelands Oval, but no goals to show for it. Not yet. Anyway, 0-0 between Illawarra Stingrays and Sydney University as the teams head to the dressing sheds. Scarlet Grey, the uni keeper, has made some pretty good saves in the first half, it must be said, while at the other end for the home side, I mean, some good touches, some good runs from Annie Grove, left-sided, leftmost defender for the home team. This is Eric Subihana with the commentary from Dapto. We'll take a short break, about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll be back for the second half. See you soon.
It's a lot because I think it's a high reward for us. We've been working really hard this season, and to get a spot in the final, it's a challenge, but we're ready to take it and hopefully we'll get a good result.
To even be in the Sapphire Cup final is an amazing achievement just to get here for my team and myself. But as a club, this was one of our goals from the start of the season, and to even get here is just like incredible.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game because they've been doing really well in the midfield. I know it's going to be a challenge. They've also got the good backline, Poppy. They've got the good forwards as well.
Manly are definitely a hard team to crack down. As you could see, the first time we played them in the season, it was a fight till the end of the match. A few new players as well, so I think it's going to be definitely a big fight.
I think having our fans there, family, it'll mean so much to us. Like, we'll get the job done for them and we'll really feel their support in the stands, I think, as we play this game. It'll be a good game of football to watch, so I think everyone should come down because it'll be entertaining.
Yeah, well, it's a grand final, right? These games mean so much to us, to our fans, to everyone. Women's football is so big in Australia, so I think coming out here is like the first step of actually driving that.
McMahon, bottom left corner. Breyer, play on, off the hip. Abdul Massi, Gooch with a chance to level it up. The same. Abdul Massi. Fuller. In from Halmerick. She's onside, no issue.
Wheel around and Petria Phillips, now Indy Dos Santos, a bending cross. Luxmeyer! Bull strike first, and it's a good fit.
There. Nice ball from McKenzie down the right-hand side. The ball into the box. Bronte True only has to tap it home, and Illawarra lead at the pond. Kilbride into the area. Bronte True makes the run. So does Christopherson. Second effort comes up, and it's been put away by Christopherson. Middleton on the turn from 20 yards into the top corner. Chloe Middleton.
Finding Osborne as the player in space. Now it's across to Dale. Touch goes backwards under pressure from Fagali. Long range shot from Jackson, and Ruby Jackson has scored. So it's a spectacular goal. Letter could be in behind. Draver hesitates. His Letter. Ashley Letter blocked by Draver. Loose ball picked up by Lancaster, who goes from range. Charlotte Lancaster scores. It's a brilliant equaliser. Cross swung in. Draver's up, and there's a header. It's off the post, and the check. It's in from Ashley Letter. And Arpia turned it round. Their captain.
Now he's looking to create the shot, and that's a fantastic solo goal. She did it all on her own. High looping left-footed delivery. It's headed in. And Sydney Uni. And Sutton steps up. And Kristanovska gets the right way, but couldn't get down in time. It was placed right into the bottom corner. Sutton takes it in her stride and now tries to get free. And off the post it in. Asher Sutton has a brace. Order to deliver. Good ball towards the penalty spot. It's headed down, though, only as far as Havel. And that one snuck in, and the Rangers do have one back. And they disguise the pass. Camilleri puts it back into the face of goal. And they try and poke it home. And a great save on the line, but it's eventually tapped in by Barden. And Asher Sutton might be in behind here. Instead, it's going to be Chu as the chance to seal it for Sydney Uni. And she does.
Balls with Trimis. She loses possession, and Hills, the flick on from Stanich Floody, off the inside of the post. What a finish.
Welcome back to the second half of our NPL Women's New South Wales coverage from the South Coast, and more specifically from Lakelands Oval in Dapto. It's still goalless between the Stingrays and Sydney Uni. We've got 45 more minutes, plus a little bit more of stoppage time before we can decide if there is to be a winner from this contest. I was listening in on the conversation just before the second half started. Can confirm, as I actually did my work during the break for once, no subs for Sydney Uni as the second half gets underway. And I'm pretty confident it's also the same case for the Stingrays. So I'd be 99.5% confident that Stingrays are also as they were to begin the game. Perhaps that might refresh the memories, or perhaps if you missed me going through the lineups during the top of the broadcast, might remind you of the two sets of plays out there. That's nice skill from Taylor Young, and then the covering tackle from Madison Van Dyke, one of the Sydney Uni standouts, at least the way I saw things in the first half. That's sent forward, and uncontested Graders let it run for the goal kick. Anyway, remind you of those two sets of 11 players now, so Sydney Uni playing in roughly a 3-4-3 as I see things, as they keep it moving. But in goal is number 1 Scarlett Gray. At the back for the students, number 6 Juliet Harris, number 12 Sarah Farrow, and number 10 Jenny Hill. In midfield, number 20 Ellen Hughes, number 8 Madison Van Dyke, the captain, number 33 Grace Cho-Treganza, number 11 Amelia Macris. Up front, number 39 Asha Sutton, number 9 Poppy Tay, and number 28 Isabella Rard. As Taylor Young is to hold down R2 and try and get away from the defence before just settling it with the backwards pass to Annie Grove. By the way, can report, and it is also goalless in the other game currently being played in NPL Women's New South Wales. So that would be Ravens and the Wanderers Academy, and as Tay will not get to the end of that. Well, this may come as a shock to you. Ravens versus Wanderers at the Arctic Circle. It's wet and it looks really cold. Who could have seen this coming? Grove sends it forward. That's sent into the crowd by Macris. That Stingrays lineup out there looks like a 3. I'm no round ball analyst, that's for sure, but it looks like roughly a 3-5-2 as I see things. But in goal is number 1 Kiara Roche. At the back, number 19 Annalise Grove, number 8 Ella Giles, and number 77 Alex McKenzie. In midfield on the left is number 5 Hayley Taylor Young. On the right, number 17 Adelaide Thompson. In central midfield, number 6 Jasmine Lamont, number 7 the captain Chloe Middleton, and number 13 Kayla Austin. And up front, number 78, Sophia Christopherson, and number 11, Bronte True. That is a couple of speed demons for sure up front for Stingrays, so the Uni defence had better be alert. Touch off the thigh from Lamont. Now Middleton. Nice ball to Thompson. And Thompson, cross-blocked, corner. And Thompson wants to get on with it. Now perhaps she was thinking of a quickly taken short corner. Just that everyone has jogged away from her. Looks like Thompson will aim for the centre of the penalty area instead. Sends it more to the back stick and around the back. Might be Christopherson trying to get the shot, but she's outnumbered there. McKenzie, and then she can't leak in. Grove needs to hurry, and might be a run down the far side. Annie Grove. That's good work. She's almost in a decent crossing position. She is double marked. Does get some kind of a cross in. Might get a second go at the ball here. Grove back onto the left boot. That's decent, but then not enough curl to take it away from Gray. So I mentioned the other concurrent game, the one being played today, which is Ravens versus the Wanderers at the Arctic Circle. Free kick won by Asha Sutton there, but yes, in case it missed your attention, there was a game last night at North Turramurra Recreation Area with Annabelle Banfield on the mic for a goalless draw between Northern Tigers and Uni of New South Wales. And the other games, the game's set to kick off later at 4:50 p.m. It is Apia versus Spirit. Spirit, 5 games unbeaten. Pretty good for them, moving up slowly up the table since signing what it seems like half of the A-League in the mid-season transfer window. Oy, that was a lot of work to keep up with that in more ways than one. Anyway, that's a 4:50 p.m. kickoff between Apia and Spirit at Lambert Park. By the way, as we go back to Canteen Watch with Eric Subihano, if you're ever there, try the chicken roll with chili mayo at Apia home games. Criminally underrated, I think, by the football-going public, at least. Anyway, at 5 p.m. From Poppendale Park, it's a clash of cultures, Rangers versus Manly United. At 5:30 p.m, Hills United host Macarthur Rams. And at 5:40 p.m, it's Sydney Olympic versus Bulls FC Academy, which is also our match of the round. And my good friend Angela Deporbay will be taking photos there. Presumably they'll let Angela cross the running track at the crest and be actually pitch side. But I wish all the best to Will Constantinides, because that commentary position is it's a long way from the field, shall we say, with the running track and whatnot between spectators and the field. Actually, I'm there in 7 days' time to call Olympic versus Apia as well, so best of luck to me as well. Austin has room in front of her, has options in front of her as well. Thompson. Back to Austin. And Thompson again. Backpedaling here is Mackenzie. Middleton finds the ball, and that will just be Gray letting that run out for the goal kick. Yes, and also League One women's action on our YouTube channel today from 5 p.m. Pete Pryor, the voice of Central Coast Football, calling Mariners Academy versus Nepean. That game is at 5 p.m. Now, Tay will chase, but it's Giles working it back to Roche. She'll slow it down for a bit. Down the line, and True is stuck between defenders here, out on the left touch line. Back to Grove. Grove might switch the point of attack. They've gone all the way back to Giles. Van Dijk has it intercepted by Middleton, and Middleton's played it left. Taylor Young has some grass in front of her. There's quite a few options in the middle. She can find one of them. And Farrow round on the cover and taking no risks there. Again, as Uni get everyone behind the ball. A test, if any, as much as anything else, of Stingray's patience, and a lot of ball in the last few minutes. Can they convert that into a chance? Something that would test the Uni shot stopper, Scarlet Grey. Now down the line, Thompson will get there. Decent crossing position. Cuts inside a defender, and a second one. Now delivers, and Jenny Hill blocking the cross. Now Stingrays continue to turn the screw. Tries to run around Hughes, but Hughes going to read that like the Sydney Morning Herald, and a good Shepherd out for a goal kick. Say, I was kind of being facetious, but I think it's worked out. Those grey clouds that you saw in the distance in the first half, they've gone somewhere that's not here. That's great news. As I see, well, I did jump the gun with this in the first half, but I see only Noor Hijazi being sent out to warm up for Sydney Uni. That would indicate to my untrained eyes that she is the first player, that she's likely to be the first player to be brought on by Sydney Uni today. Now, it's out off Austin. Now, well, okay, so just going to have a stoppage. Just check on Middleton, who is on her feet but appears not to be that comfortable. She'll try and shake it off, though. She's an important play for the Stingrays. They certainly need her. Tay into the box. Poppy Tay shoots, and it's a little awkward hop, and is still up for grabs. Is Tay, and then Ella Giles to the rescue. First Sydney Uni corner of the game. I'm going to say, can be awkward for a keeper when the ball bounces right in front of you. Positioning was good from Roche. I think she might have been caught off by a somewhat unusual bounce. Her teammates in the way to prevent a follow-up shot, but everyone in pink and Kiara Roche have to be alert as well. Corner coming in from Sutton. Farah heads it. Second chance, and takes a touch, and then just rolls towards Roche, who wants to get on with it with the quick throw out to Thompson. Nice ball, and True stayed onside. Christopherson heading towards the back stick. Here's Bronte True. Chucks inside. Micah herself. Here's True, and then does it break for Austin? It's still in the box. True again, out, and it's a corner. Well, they're talking. Their refs are mic'd up. They're talking, and after that, that's a goal kick. Or I forget. Let's shout out next weekend's action on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel. 8 women's football games, as is standard for every weekend during the winter season. As Greg restarts with the goal kick. Header from Middleton. And now Taylor Young for it is boomed forward. Tay. Great movement. And now Tay away down to the right-hand side. Who's that off last? Goal kick, despite Poppy Tay's protestations. But next weekend on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel, there's 3 games on Saturday the 11th of July. 3 Saturday games, that's great. I remember when almost every game in this competition was on Sunday. Good to see some variety in kickoff times now. But anyway, Saturday 11th of July, 3 p.m. from the Arctic Circle. It's, what do we call this? The Stephen Peters Plate, Spirit FC versus MacArthur Rams. I'm not calling that one, but if you listen closely, you might hear my voice. Also at 3 p.m. on Saturday, 11th of July, a different venue. For our wonderful competition, it's RPL Leichhardt hosting the Rangers, but it's at Leichhardt Oval, and that's part of a women's and men's first grade doubleheader. And photography legend Damien Briggs can be an position, presumably to call both games of that RPO doubleheader. But then 5 p.m. on Saturday the 11th of July at the Village Green. What a great name for a venue that is, by the way. But 5 p.m. Saturday 11th, UNSW hosting Sydney Olympic. Then there are 4 games in NPL Women's on Sunday 12th of July starting at 2:40 p.m. The early game set to be at Northbridge Oval between Bulls FC Academy and Illawarra Stingrays. That'll be called by Emily Arnold. And there's a trio of games at 5 p.m. So next weekend's match of the round, 5 p.m. Sunday 12th of July, Sydney University hosting Hills United. We'll hold that thought because here come the Stingrays with True looking for an option. The wide option is Thompson. He'll take it wide. Tracked by Hughes. True, and True's offside. Okay, but yes, match of the round next weekend, Sunday 12th of July, 5 p.m, Sydney University versus Hills United. And yes, once again, the Camden camera expert Angela Tepobe will be shooting that one. All the bells and whistles, Maeve Sparrow on Instagram, Teo Pellizzeri with the commentary from Camperdown. Also, but then the other games, 5 p.m. on Sunday, 12th of July, it's the Wanderers Academy versus Northern Tigers in Rudy Hill, called by Annabelle Banfield. And you know what? I'm also calling a game at 5 p.m., but I'm nowhere near as good as Teo and Annabelle. So you know what? I can't compete with that. Don't even worry about my game. Just watch either Sydney Uni or versus Hills or Wanderers versus Tigers. I won't be offended. If I could listen to them while calling my own game, that's what I do, to be honest. Tay. Now. Rod moves it wide. Here's Hill. Macris. With Taylor Young in the way. Decision is corner. So I think that'll be Sutton winding up for the in-swinger. Decent delivery, and the flying header has led to another corner. And the drizzle has returned. Thankfully, it is very light. Oh, by the way, League One Women's Match of the Round next week, Sunday 12th of July, 5 p.m. Blacktown City host the Newcastle Jets Academy. Flat turret delivery. Tay got a touch. Now Van Dijk can't get a shot away. Farrow moves it back. Cho Treganza back in the number 30 jersey. She was wearing number 33 after that injury, but that's been good to see. That's been sorted out. And now the numbers match what's in dribble. Anyway, substitution, and it. Noor Hijazi, number 19, for Sydney Uni, about to come on. Looks like it's the end of the shift for Poppy Tay. She'll be replaced by Noor Hijazi. 9 off, 19 on. So, let's see if that leads to any kind of reshuffle. They are both attackers. And does it open up for the Stingrays here? They'll move wide. Another touch for Thompson. McKenzie sends it forward, and it should be Farrow's ball. The pressure is arriving. Cooley played to the left and to Harris. Yeah, it's Thompson sliding to block that pass. Now, as Uni advances down the near side by way of throw-in. Hijazi knew touch off Stingrays, could just shield it out. And now they prepare for the throw. And another throw. Hey, when in doubt, just keep throwing it down the line. Now they're well into Sydney Uni territory. Sorry, there we go. They're well into Stingrays territory, our Sydney Uni. And that's sent up into the air by Giles. The spin favours Middleton. Van Dijk. Van Dijk spinning around looking for options. Finds Sutton. Now forward by Hughes, and here's Giles. Now they're under pressure. Thompson, and they're fine. That's a little breather for the Stingrays. But still well away from their Sydney Uni goal. Uni trying to squeeze the space in midfield, but there is a bit of a way out for the team in pink with Grove more on the left-hand side. Let me see. So actually, now they have a chance to look at how Uni have reshuffled. So Isabella Rard started out as a wide attacker, at least the way I saw it for Uni. Now she's at centre forward, and in attack hits Hijazi. That's one of the wingers now, with Asher Sutton on the other wing for the visitors, and Hijazi getting the ball to Rard. Rard loops one back to the substitute. And high foot, indirect free kick. Now, look at the Stingrays bench. One player seems to be warming up with the ball intently. Haven't seen the jersey number. Can't tell who it is. It's not Caitlin Russell, the backup keeper. That much I've figured out. Intercepted by Hijazi. Rard, nice run. Space in a wide position. What's the support in the centre like? Hijazi whips it in and gathered by Roche. Stingrays bench wanting to lift the speed and lift the intensity. Roche sends it towards midfield. Tay deals with that. Thompson. Lamont. And no touch of Uni. Uni will have the throw. Ooh, well, yeah. Well, that looked like a ball point blank, almost point blank to Kale Austin's face. She's checking her face. I think she's okay, though. There's Macris is round on the cover for Uni. Now, tackle from Middleton. Here's Taylor Young. Edge of the box now. And it's curling shot, which Gray can watch go wide. About midway through the second half here. Eric Subihano with the commentary from Lakelands Oval in Dapto. 0-0 between Stingrays and Sydney Uni. In fact, there we go. So substitute Kale. Looks like the end of the shift for Kayla Austin. And coming on for Stingrays, number 30, Lucy Baggio. Football fans of a certain vintage loving that surname by the newly introduced Stingrays player, especially for Italian. Yes. Perhaps Lucy Badger could change her hairstyle so she could be called the Divine Ponytail. But anyway. No, I'm referring to Italian international legend Roberto Baggio, in case you're not someone who's nowhere near as old as I am. Probably should have explained that earlier, but... And defensive header by Hill into the fence. Stingrays, as we head into the final 20 minutes, is there one moment that can split the two teams? Macris boots it towards midfield. Good leap from Middleton there, but now it's Van Dijk. Hughes with the cross, headed away by Giles. Now on the bounce, Van Dijk with a mishit. And then trotting over to the far side, Grove will retrieve it. And Uni reasonably happy to stand off Stingrays when the ball's at the back. That's a strong defensive header. Hijazi forward. Sutton has a little look to see where the pressure is. Sutton will take on Giles. Giles, good tackle. Thompson turns and drives into the centre of the park where there's a little bit of space. Now the ball blocked by Macris. Van Dijk. Rod. And Van Dijk's continued the run. Tackle from McKenzie. Had to be spot on. It was in the box. In fact, McKenzie's won the free kick. So... the joys of YouTube streaming. I've just opened up a tab in my browser, my laptop in front of me. Can report it's still goalless at the Arctic Circle between the Ravens and the Wanderers. That game kicked off roughly 10 minutes after this one. It does look that it stopped raining as Middleton is late on Cho Treganza there. But anyway, about an hour played at the Arctic Circle between the Ravens and the Wanderers. Now through, Hijazi, tracked by McKenzie. Got the cross in, Giles blocking at the near post. Van Dijk, the edge of the box, and might break through again. Swings the left boot, and it's just wide. Had Roche worried enough to dive. And you want to say it did look like Roche had it covered. Another reminder, NPL Women's New South Wales Team of the Week. To be released on Monday via our social media channels at NPL_NSW_official, and there's also the NPL New South Wales Facebook page. Giles switching it to the left. Good first touch there. Now Middleton. And who's the target forward? Good back to goal work from Taylor Young. Now Lamont back to Giles. Here's Roche playing it forward. Here's Grove. Actually, I will say this. I always say this every time I call again, Mikara Roche. What's one more time? So, I mentioned earlier she has scored 3 first-grade goals for Blacktown City. One of them was a 93rd minute free kick to win a game for Blacktown against Interlions. I do always wonder what happens if Stingrays earn a late free kick at a good position and the scores are level. Well, I suppose we'll have to find out. Harris covering and conceding the corner. And by my very unofficial tally, 4th corner of the game. For the Stingrays, well, for the Stingrays, April Rowley looks like she'll be the next player on. Jacket is off, but the Stingrays number 36. As Thompson delivers. Header from Taylor Young, I think, still up for grabs. Criminals Grove, there's a close range chance. And then there's also an offside, so whatever would have eventuated, had True connected properly, wouldn't have counted. Anyway, bibs off, yep, April Rowley's going to come on. Always good when the filming position is on the same side of the field as the technical areas, and April Rowley will replace Adelaide Thompson. So April Rowley's gone up front alongside Bronte True, it looks like, with Sophia Christopherson now wide on the right for the hosts. And via my various direct messages, not relevant to this competition, but good to hear that in NPL Men's New South Wales, Spirit have equalised against Rockdale. Thanks to Justin Smith for the update. Churchuganza takes over. Looking for someone in blue and gold, but is giving it straight back. More tidy work from Lamont there in midfield for the Stingrays. Got commentator's curse. Never go a game without doing at least one of those. Sorry, Jasmine. Here's Van Dyke. Rod bounces it back. Van Dyke. Sutton. Angles very much against it. Shoots anyway. And hits the side netting. The Stingrays coaching staff want to lift the pace. There's Giles forward. Farrow chasing. Appears to have the front position on True. Very important not to let Bronte True get in behind you. Really have made a name for himself in this competition. Back at MacArthur Rams, I think a 30-goal season or close to it. And big part of the reason MacArthur Rams were the 2024 double winners. Won the league title and then won a dramatic grand final at Parramatta on penalties against RPL Leichhardt. True. Now Middleton. Middle 1-2. And Hill's trying to break it up. So is Farrow. Forward. but kind of split the difference between two of her teammates. So Grove takes over. Now, Macris has got the jump there, and actually Hill wants to keep it in play. So we go on. Hill again. Macris. Now, can she get in behind Grove? Macris will charge towards a crossing position. Slight tackle from Grove. Corner? Yes. And, well, I mean, I wouldn't trust this corner tally, but for what it's worth, my handwritten tally says it's 4-all in terms of corners. 0-all, obviously, in terms of goals as well. Into the final 10 minutes of regulation time. Sutton contemplates what to do with this latest kick from the flag. It's up. And allowed to bounce by everyone. Can Uni make something of this? At the edge of the box, Van Dijk. Can't get past two, although she'll try her best. Strong win of a 50-50 inside her own box. Now, Hijazi wins it back. Shoots from range, it's going to dip. And, it's well done by Roche. Good goal sense. Knew she was just in front of the goal line. Just jumped up and showed a safe pair of hands as Rowley trying to make something of this for the Stingrays. Just on as a substitute. Space on the left, that's where it goes. Annalise Grove. Now, was trying to find Baggio. Another good tackle from Farrow. True. That might be Rowley here, and then Van Dijk just went for safety first. Corner kick. 5th corner kick of the game for the Stingrays. Just a reminder for the multi-screen fam, not long until kick-off at Lambert Park between Apia Leichhardt and Spirit FC. Middleton's providing the short option for this corner, but it goes direct into the blender and headed at the at the near post by Macris, and then zinged closer to a midfield position. Hijazi can't make it stick, but she'll try and challenge Middleton. Middleton gets past one challenge, and then it's Hughes with the intercept. Van Dijk might have lost out now. Is True onside ball? The answer is no. She was not. Sarah Farrow wanting Bronte True to be at least 10 yards away from her. And now she goes long. Here's Baggio. Little dink. There's Farrow in the way once more. She's had a very, very good game in defence for Sydney Uni, has Sarah Farrow. Still goalless at the Arctic Circle between the Ravens and the Wanderers. Looks like the rain has come back. Ooh, it's one of those days. Lobbed up towards Sutton. She can settle it, and then that's a good tackle from Middleton. Another good tackle from Middleton. But there she's down, feeling a bit sore on the grass. Uni will go on, though. Spreading it left. Here's Hughes. And Hughes fouled. And in fact, we probably will have to check on Chloe Middleton's welfare. She's still lying on the grass. And let's see. No, the physio's been waved on. And it's very much... yes. Looking at that physio, yes, it is very much beanie weather. And that's a 3 p.m. kickoff. Goodness knows what it's going to feel like at the later kickoffs, especially 5:30 p.m. at Valentine Sports Park Hills versus MacArthur. Fellow Football New South Wales commentator calls that venue the wind tunnel for reasons that I should think are fairly obvious. But as it happens, I reckon I live near Valentine Sports Park. I reckon I will end up driving past there at about the start of the second half of that game, so I'll pop my head in. and say hi to the women of the hills. Anyway, 5:40 p.m. Oh, speaking of, that's going to be frigid. 5:40 p.m. game at the Crest between Olympic and Bulls. I sure hope Wilkins Santanides, Angela Depobe, and Tanisha Moras have plenty of warm clothing. And everyone else, of course. That reminds me, for you fans of my commentary, got to be one of you out there, surely. But in 2 weeks' time, I have the 5:40 p.m. game at the Crest, so Sunday, 19th of July, 5:40 p.m. I'll be calling Sydney Olympic versus Apia Leichhardt. Will my good friend Ashley Letter, Apia captain, score more goals? They say she's leading the Golden Boot race. Well, she's in front, to be honest. It's not much of a race. Ashley Letter on 18, next person's on 11. Please. For it to be a race, there's got to be more than one person in it, surely. Anyway. And also, my commentary month finishes on Sunday, 26th of July. I have a 2:40 p.m. game at Northbridge Oval with Bulls FC Academy hosting the Ravens. Back underway with Harris, and then that's dealt with by the team in pink. Van Dyke let it run away from her. It's a steal from True outside of the football, finding Taylor Young. Back to... Let's find a way forward then, and Harris is in the way. No risk taken by Harris. Intercepted by Chotraganza, but then stolen back by Baggio. And the shot comes in for Rowley, and it wasn't too far away. Had Gray at full stretch. Not even a metre over the crossbar. It's a zinging effort from April Rowley. Now, Uni taking the other way. There's a little bit of room for Sutton and a supporting run coming from Hijazi, but Sutton will keep it herself. And Sutton shoots. No one lurking in the middle. Safe play from Grove into the fence. Now, is that, and then that is nothing to threaten the Stingrays. So goal kick it is. Good header from Harris. Now might loop up and towards Sutton, who heads it. Hijazi, decent first touch. Trying to return the favour, but it's Rowley, the young forward, back doing the defending. Good team play there, good awareness. She saw where the threat was coming and made sure Sutton didn't get a crossing opportunity. Hughes throwing. Sutton loops it past Christopherson. Sutton is able to get across into the middle. And there's one header. Needs another clearance. Badger going more sideways than forwards. And then, well, they could have gone anywhere. Now Giles getting it more towards midfield. Rowley, that's a good first-time pass. True, can she get the toss past Farrow? She can. Jenny Hill is scrambling across on the cover. Badger's free in the middle, or possibly free in the middle. The cross was blocked. True, needs some support. Oh, she'll try to just run around everyone and into the centre. Middleton has a little bit of room here. Middleton takes it left. And the shot, that did not get the contact she wanted. Okay. Farrow, nice ball. Hughes can turn, has a wider option, but that's a brilliant tackle from Christopherson. Yeah, game's really starting to get stressed. Late in the piece. Rowley. Low cross blocked by Farrow. Rowley's kept it alive. Still Rowley, and that's unfortunate because I think the standing foot gave just as he about to cross. Hey, Stingrays are convinced that they should have a corner. but no. Here's Macris. Rod. It's the touch, but then defending is Middleton. That's a decent ball. Here's Rod. Rod rides the tackle. There are 3 options in the middle. How's the cross? It's decent. Now, does it break for Sutton? Roche was quick enough. Quick first and second step. Diving on the football. About stoppage time now as Roche booms one. Safe header there from Harris. And, the spaces in midfield have been getting larger and larger over the last 10 minutes. What you expect as players start to tire. Can somebody use that space to create the game's decisive moment? Rowley to True. Does she get there? No, she does not. Just one last reminder of games, the other games in women's football you can watch on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel before we have to sign off and get away from here. So, after the conclusion of this one, as there is... Hang on. Well, it's going to be a yellow card for Bronte True, I think. Okay, late in the piece. So, yes, after the conclusion of this one, you can watch the closing stages of Ravens versus Wanderers from the Arctic Circle, or the early stages of Arpia versus Spirit from Lambert Park. Then at 5 scheduled for 5 p.m, Rangers versus Manly. For 5:30 p.m, Hills versus MacArthur, and for 5:40 p.m, Olympic versus Bulls. Also, the League One Women's Match of the Round starting at 5 p.m, Mariners versus Nepean. Quick feed from Rod, looking for an option. Badger steal in there. And now True on the turn, and Bronte True racing away. Farrow. Tackle's ruled to be clean, and she's prevented the corner as well. And then just, no risk taken. Is there a long throw coming up? Whatever anyone wants to do if they want to provide a winner, find a winner. It's got to be quick. And here's the throw towards True. Swings on the left foot, and then Taylor Young kept it low, but also sent it wide. Gray, good kick, good contact on that. Hughes, and that'll be a throw in right on halfway. And Chloe Middleton with a rather optimistic claim for a throw in there, so we'll just leave it at that. Sutton, quick throw. Hijazi backing in there. Outnumbered, too much pink to really make something of that. True gets past the defender. Rowley's got the touch ahead of Farrow. That's what fresh legs off the bench can do. And the team in pink streaming into the middle. It's a penalty. It's a penalty, and Stingrays with a late chance to earn all 3 points here. It was Rowley's speed. She was not favoured to get to that loose ball. That was near halfway. She got there, headed for the box, and has won a spot kick. Well, here we go. And Bronte True with the responsibility from 12 yards up against Scarlett Gray. Now Hush falls over Lakelands Oval. Here we go. True has a save by Gray. Here's the rebound 4-4. Chance here. Saved again by Gray. It's still alive, maybe. And then still out of the box. Still inside the box. Christopherson. Backing in. Can she find a teammate? And Van Dijk's had enough of that. And that is that. So Scarlett Gray will be the hero. with an incredible double save deep into stoppage time. Denied Bronte True's spot kick, then denied Lucy Badger's follow-up shot, and it has been a whirlwind end to this game. It finishes 0-0 between Illawarra Stingrays and Sydney University. That barely tells the story. And the young keeper Scarlett Gray had another excellent game. She's getting some well-deserved celebrations as the uni coaching staff stream onto the field. And Sydney Uni, a big improvement this season on 2025. They earned 30 points last season. They're already up to 28 points in this campaign, and there's 8 rounds to go. Well, I suppose it's time for us to get out of here. Click back to the live tab on the Football New South Wales YouTube stream to see other games currently in progress. But on behalf of Football New South Wales, today's broadcast partner Sportscast, and today's camera operator Keeley, it's Eric Subihano signing off from Lakelands Oval in Dapto. We hope to have your company soon on our YouTube page. The final score here is Illawarra Stingrays 0, Sydney University 0. Good night.